Mark Nichols.
Pride Radio.
Love Pride Radio. This is Mark Nichols with your Pride Roundup. Somebody who I have maybe had one or two glasses of wine with at a UK Pride Organisers conference. I say that rumour-wise, I may have had a glass of wine with her, is Jenny from Doncaster Pride. And she joins me now. Hi, Jenny.
Good evening, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? How are you in your broom cupboard?
I'm very well. I'm sitting on the stairs, literally in the broom cupboard next to the Hoover and a box of surf. We're midst our Pride meeting. Monday's a Pride meeting, so we're in the middle of the Pride meeting, and we only have one space. So I was going to go outside to speak to you, and it's raining. So they've shoved me in the cupboard out the way while the team all have a cup of tea and a load of chocolate brownies.
Oh, but thank you very much for taking the time and coming and having a chat with us, though. So
It's good to be back.
Doncaster, a city now.
A city indeed, yes. We went to sleep in a town and woke up in a city. How often does that happen?
I know. So now you're a city pride.
We are a city pride. We're very proud that we're changing all our branding at the moment. And our town pride is going to become our city pride, and it's wonderful news. I mean, it's great for Doncaster. It's something that, because of my day job, I work for the council, I work in events, and I work with the visitor economy team. So it's something that I've been involved in, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's going to be such an amazing thing for us to be able to jump on that city status thing. And not going to do us any harm as far as Pride's concerned either. So absolutely great news.
Brilliant news. So how long's Doncaster Pride been running?
16 years.
Wow.
The first Pride was in 2007, and I went along to a meeting in 2007 that was were people who had been brought together because somebody thought that we might all be able to make a committee and put a Pride event on. And I was a little bit like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if Doncaster's ready for a Pride. I don't know if I'm ready to start delivering a Pride. I'll go to one meeting and I'll give them a little bit of help, because my day job, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm an event manager anyway. So I'll go give them a little bit of support. And 16 years later, here I am.
You're still there, still stressing about it.
Oh, yeah. And like I just said, my team are not listening to this interview because they've heard enough of me over 16 years. They quite happily eating their brownies and supping their tea.
Now, did you manage to deliver a Pride last year, or did you go virtual?
We did. We went virtual in 20, and in 2021, we decided that we didn't want to do another virtual. And our Pride is the first weekend in August, and we were a little bit, will we be able to do it? Won't we be able to do it? We needed to make a decision, and we thought, you know what, it's not worth the risk, let's not. So we announced that we weren't going to do Pride, and we weren't going to do a virtual Pride, probably just going to leave it. And as time wore on and some of the restrictions relaxed a little bit, and in August, it seems like so long ago now, we were in a position where bars, pubs and clubs were open, venues were open, small numbers of people, outside was okay, more than one bubble together was okay. So, when we got to probably about, 8 weeks ahead of what should have been Pride, we came up with this idea of applying to a local community fund for a little bit of money to help us to put on some mini Prides. And we were looking for 8 venues in the town centre and we said, we'll get some acts, we'll book the acts, we'll pay for the acts, and will you host little mini Prides? And the idea was that people would go around the town centre to 8 different venues, and there'd be little mini Prides. We put out a shout to the venues for people to get involved, and instead of 8, we had 32. And every pub and bar and cafe and we had hairdressing salons, and we had all sorts of people saying, we'd like to do something. So we revised the plan slightly, but we still did have those 8 mini venues, and we put the money into the acts, and then we supported all of the others with promotion and marketing, and the town was absolutely rammed full of people. And if you look at the COVID recovery and you look at the actual statistics for the number of people in the town centre on Saturdays in 2022, Pride Saturday was the biggest one. And we just drew all of these people in, and they went round all the pubs and they all met up with their friends, and it was fabulous. And because of that and the legacy of that and the relationships that were made with the local, for anybody that knows Doncaster, we've got a street called Silver Street that is full of bars, pubs and clubs. And it's not the place that usually where the LGBT community would feel comfortable nor very welcome sometimes. All the bars down there, one with rainbow flags hanging outside, one of them with a trans flag hanging outside. And it was just like, what's going on? So those relationships now mean that what we've decided to do is the Saturday before our main Pride, which is the 6th of August. So that's the 30th of July Saturday is Town Pride, or it's going to be now City Pride. And we're repeating it again. And then the following week, we're doing our own no big event in the park.
Well, do you think it was actually needed, because people have been so isolated for so long because of COVID, that they needed this kind of get-together as COVID was, the restrictions were starting to be lifted?
Yes, absolutely. And there's a little bit of the cynic in me that says, well, the venues wouldn't they? Because they'd had a difficult period of time through COVID and money on the bar and money through the till is good, and they could take, but yeah, they still needed to engage. They still need, there was one of the pubs in particular, and I won't mention any names, it was one of the pubs in particular that when I arrived in the town on the Saturday morning and drove past this pub on my way in, I was absolutely amazed that pub had got a rainbow flag outside, because we didn't even know they were getting involved. And that pub is probably one of the ones that I would least go into and feel comfortable. So whether or not there was yes, let's just make sure we fill our venues, there's going to be a lot of people in town, let's make sure we advertise that the gay community and the LGBT community are welcome here. They were still making a statement, and those relationships have improved enormously with all of the venues across the town as a result of. So it was incredible. Of all the things in all of the 16 years that I've been involved in Doncaster Pride and doing Pride, it's probably up there as being one of the most amazing things that we've ever achieved. And it was just cobbled together with £5,000 and 6 or 8 weeks worth of planning, and it just was incredible.
And it's going to happen again this year, so it's something that's now become part of the Doncaster Pride events. Yeah,
absolutely. It's hopefully going to be not a great deal of effort on our part, because what we've said this time is, okay, you want to get involved, here's a form, stick it online, here's a form, fill the form, tell us what you're doing, and we'll put a calendar of events on, and we will make sure that we market and promote it. So hopefully not a huge amount of effort on our part, because we've got a lot of planning to do with our own event, because we have reinvented Doncaster Pride during COVID, and we've moved into a new location, and the event is going to be huge. So we've got a lot to do with that as well. And I think, we're all a little bit rusty. We've had a couple of years off, and although it's my job to deliver events, I work with a volunteer committee for Pride. And I don't do it as part of my day job. It is very much kept separate. And I'm sure that there are other people who are organising Pride who will attest to the fact that, getting people back on getting them back on their bikes almost and getting them going again is quite difficult, and kind of infusing people to come back. We've lost a couple of volunteers who just think, oh, you know what, I'm not going to come back. And I think, the challenge is on for this year. There's a huge expectation. We've gone really big and really bold, and we're really pushing forward with the plans. And it's nice, and we've got that new energy and enthusiasm, but we've kind of also forgotten a few things about how we did it before. So we're having to relearn things and re-rehearse things. It's a challenge.
And I know, August seems a long way away, but it's actually not that long.
It's 11 weeks.
Yeah, which is the scheme. Oh, it's August. It's not far away. 11 weeks to finalise your plans. But you have started to announce your act, haven't you?
We did. We have 2 stages this year. We've always had a small stage for anybody that's ever been to Doncaster Pride. There's a shopping precinct across from where the main event was, and in there's kind of like a little square, and we used to have a kind of little acoustic stage down there because there's a pub, and we used to sit outside the pub. But this time we've got 2 stages. We've got the Pride stage, which is kind of the traditional stuff that you would see on there: the singers, the drag acts, the couple of tribute performers, that kind of thing. And then we've gone with another full-sized stage. That is our community stage, and that gives us the opportunity to open it up to a lot more variety. So what we're putting on there is it's going to be a bit like the kind of feel that we're going for with our community stage is like a radio roadshow.
Yeah.
And we've got local acts. We've got a couple of local singer-songwriters, but we've got a 9-year-old drummer, and she's incredible. She plays the drum, a great big, huge, big set of drums that you can barely see the little thing behind, and she's incredible. She's been on local television and all sorts of things, and she's got a real big following. So why not put her on the stage? And we got dance groups, and we got some street dancers, and we've got a local choir and all sorts of different things, and then the radio DJs and roadshow stuff, and we've just got a load of t-shirt cannons apparently, so we're going to be throwing t-shirts at people and that kind of thing. So we've got 2 stages now, and
Stephanie Hurst is closing your main stage, isn't she?
She is, yeah. We decided again, we've completely reinvented ourselves. We're new venue, 2 stages. We got a silent disco. We got a family zone. We are. I don't know how many other prides can say this. We are landing a helicopter at our pride event.
I wouldn't like to get that one through the SAG.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the sponsor of our family area is the Children's Air Ambulance,
right.
And the Children's Air Ambulance want to bring one of their ambulances.
Okay.
Which obviously is a helicopter. We're on a huge, great big field. Can it be done? And I kind of shrugged my shoulders and went, yeah. And then went off to go and talk to somebody in the council and said, I want to land a helicopter in the middle of Pride. And they're like, okay. And then I said to Matt Spencer, Miss Penny, those of you that know Matt's our host, and I did tell him that he was making his entrance onto the stage with a rope from the bottom of the helicopter. At which point he said, "Well, unbroadcastable." What he actually
I can imagine.
But no, that was. But the helicopter's real. The Miss Penny on a bungee is not real, but the helicopter is real. So we're landing a helicopter in the middle of the Pride. Crazy. And yes, Stephanie Hurst. We wanted to do something really different. We've always gone out with a singer or a band headliner. And we just said, you know what, let's do a DJ set. We're in a park and everybody's going to want to dance, and let's do something different. And Steph's local to us, of course. And yeah, she was well up for it. She's very excited about coming to spend some time with us, and that'll be great. We're just really looking forward to it.
It is going to be a fantastic weekend. It will be a weekend, won't it? So it's going to be brilliant.
It's a whole week.
Yeah.
It's Saturday to Saturday, and then we'll be clearing up till probably a week the following Monday. I don't know.
Get your rubbish picker out.
It's just all a bit manic, really, and you kind of get to that point, and I'm sure everybody else knows. You're planning, and you just need it to happen now, because you carry on planning and planning and planning and planning. We're ready to go. We could have delivered this event probably a month ago. We're now putting a cherry on top of the sprinkles, on top of the cherry, on top of the sprinkles, and probably in danger of overdoing. Hence the helicopter. So, I think we really need to get to a point where 11 weeks for us goes quite quickly, and we can start building those marquees and start getting the event put together. But we're very excited, and we just want everybody to come and have a good time in the city of Doncaster.
Well, remind us of the date, and if anybody wants to know how they get more information about Doncaster Pride, tell us how to do that.
Sure. So the date is the 6th of August, and the venue is Elmfield Park, which is very close to the town centre, near the racecourse, for those of you that know Doncaster. And if you want to know any more details, our Facebook is probably our best social media platform, and there's loads of stuff on doncasterpride.co.uk.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us, Jenny, and telling us all about Doncaster Pride this year.
Mark Nichols. Pride Radio.